this movie had me in a full Nelson as a wee teen amazes me. There it is. Because I initially did this as a hate watch and ended up secretly loving it. Yep. That's gonna do it. To make a video and dress up. So here I am talking about 2011's Beastly. Let's just get right into it. If you like terrible movies and you like terrible makeup that's supposed to be special effects, you're gonna like this channel. So go and like and subscribe if you want to. Now, let me get started with the debauchery. This movie starts off with our protagonist, Kyle. Oh, that looks good. It's working. Kyle Kingson. And I think his name is Kingson because he's supposed to be a king's son. I don't know. They're trying to be clever. I don't get it. Starts off with Kyle Kingson running for class president. And he's running up against Vanessa Hudgens' character, Lindy Taylor. I don't know her name. It's supposed to be Belle. His speech starts off with him basically saying how everybody is ugly, and they take it because I guess I'm ugly and I'm proud. I'm ugly and I'm proud.
I'm proud.
Louder.
I'm ugly and I'm proud.
Louder.
I'm ugly and I'm proud. I am ugly and I'm proud.
In the midst of all of this, we see one of the Olsen twins? Both of the Olsen twins? I don't know. She's the witch. And apparently, they got beef. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think she's a fan of Mike Tyson. Something tells me she is a huge fan. Kyle goes on this rant of how everybody around him is super fugly and how they're not gonna elect him president because he knows what he's talking about. They're just gonna elect him president because he's fine and his daddy is rich. And he's not wrong because they do it. Anyways, as they're leaving the assembly, him and the witch get into an argument. She defaces his posters. It's like this whole weird Disney bullying thing where he kind of looks attracted to her, but I don't really know. This is where he meets Vanessa Hudgens' character.
It's Tom Troy.
Later on, we get to see Kyle's dad, and this is where we get to see, this is kind of where he gets it from. His narcissism and just like his bad attitude, because the dad is just like him, but way worse. The relationship is honestly so bad to the point to where Kyle has to tell him the last time they had a real conversation was when he told him he had brain cancer. And in the midst of that, he still didn't hear him. So he has to text his dad because that's the only way the father is gonna listen to him.
I'm talking, and I'm not listening.
Now you, Mr. Colley, you are staring into a deep, dark pit of trouble if you don't let me help.
So I'm ordering you, sir.
Later on, we find out he won the election, and Lindy won treasurer.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
This is the part where I think he thinks he's getting over on her, but he invites the witch to his party. She already understands that this is a trap, and I don't think she's falling.
Edna mode.
But she does it anyway, and she tells him, this is your last chance. I'm gonna only come to this party but it's your last chance. What do you think he does? You'd be surprised. Well, like I said, the day of the party comes. And he does exactly what she said he did. And he tries to embarrass her in front of everybody. And this is the key point of when a person fucks around too much and finds out. And what do you think she does?
But if you forget to come back for Madame Zeroni, you and your family will be cursed for always
And because this is still 2011, he had to whip out those candied herbs for the teeny boppers just to let them know, yes, I do still have a butter face. But you could roast a turducken over these bad boys. Later on, we see him and his dad are going to specialists to try to clear up that face. But there's nothing they can do for his fugly son. So what do you think the dad does? He loves him and he teaches him what true love is. And that's the end of the movie. It's like, I'm not even done with this makeup. He sticks him in a loft somewhere across the state so he doesn't have to look at him anymore. And he abandons his son. He abandoned his boy because he doesn't know what to do anymore. Bill has Zola. I feel so bad for her. She has to be stuck there with him. All she was trying to do was make a little money for her and her kids. Instead, she gets stuck with this kid. Eventually, he starts to fall for Lindy. And by fall, I mean stalks her. Yep. He finds out where she lives. Oh no! Oh no! He starts to stalk her. Point blank, he just does. Don't know how he figures out where she lives, because in her profile it just said New York City. But he finds out where she lives and starts stalking her and looking through her window every night. And he falls for her. Eventually, he follows her every night, and he winds up catching a glimpse of her dad and some like shady people. The dad owes these people money because he's into some really bad things, unfortunately. And Lindy happens to see that because she goes and tries to look for her dad. And this is pretty common for her. Ooh, that's bad. That's real bad. And since Kyle had been stalking her every night, he happened to come across this mugging too. So in the midst of everything, Lindy and her dad almost get capped. Thanks to Wonder Boy, he saves them. He saves the both of them.
I'm not screwing around, you sorry ass addict.
Dad, not this again.
Sorry. Hey, shut up. You get out of here.
Please, we'll get you your money.
Give me and my brother our money.
Not only adds salt to these wounds, he's not only a stalker, he's a kidnapper and a blackmailer on top of that. Romance. Peak. Romance. So the very next day, they get there. And she's not happy. Because, I mean, who would be? Nobody. So eventually, she winds up seeing his face. And he's already fallen for her. And she has an inkling that this could be Austin. He changed his name to Hunter because he didn't want her to know that it was him. She has an inkling that it's him. But I guess for the plot, she has to not know. Or just pretend she doesn't know. I don't know. There's a lot of plot holes in this movie. I got trypophobia, so I wasn't trying to look for that long. I'm sorry. This is where trouble ensues because we start to see Lindy getting texts from somebody, I don't know who, that said your dad was arrested because of drugs. She ignores it because she's like, I'm kind of sick of this. I just want to be a teenager and enjoy my life. Okay. But she reads the letters and he kind of ghosts her because he's super embarrassed and he's like, well, I already got friend zoned. How could you love a fugly Mitch like me? But it turns out she did. She left him all alone. So, I'm practically done. So he confides in Zola. And what's his name in this movie? Lumiere. Here's the piece de resistance. Rigid collodion. It's strong. He confides in them. And practically... Jesus Christ. They kiss, and he finds out, well, it doesn't matter if she loved me in the first place or not, because I'm already out of time. So that's never gonna work anyway. 5 seconds after that, she winds up telling him, and leaves. So then we see something starts to happen. Kyle turns back into Kyle. Yeah. Kyle turns back into Kyle. And Lindy realizes her mistake and goes after him. But says he's Kyle again. This is so strong. She's just looking for Hunter. And Kyle was chasing after her and he's like, I love you. I love you so much. And she's like, that's great, thanks. I don't love you. Sorry. Hunter. Running after Hunter. And Kyle is still kind of trying to get her attention, but she's really not paying attention to him. She's too busy looking for Hunter. Not knowing this is Hunter. I'm gonna put it on my forehead. So, eventually, he says, have you seen the story of the guy who had such an ugly soul that he got changed into an ugly person to match? Which is kind of weird because I thought this was supposed to be a story about them not knowing that they're Beauty and the Beast, but they know the story of Beauty and the Beast. So does that make them that story? And how would they not know that they were living that exact adjacent story without knowing? I don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe they weren't supposed to know. Wait, no, I don't get it. That doesn't make any sense. This movie has so many plot holes. I think they just said, let's wrap it up. It's getting too convoluted. Let's just do away with it already. So eventually, she just calls him. And then she realizes, it's always been you. Because Kyle's phone is ringing. And at first, I don't know whether she wants to punch him in the face or kiss him. She kisses. And at the end, we see Kyle's dad. Finally. We see that he's in his office. He's still entangled in his work. He still doesn't care about his son. And eventually, we see that Kyle is about to get a taste of the ugly truth. Because a new intern has come into his work. It's one of the Twitches. If you haven't put it together by now, it's one of the Twitches. So yeah, that's the end of the movie. It's 2011 Beastly.
But if you forget to come back for Madame Zeroni, you and your family will be cursed for always and eternally.